Thank you so much for being with us here today. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. So I was hoping you could tell us a little bit more about your very successful program, where it's been, and where you're hoping to take it now in the future.
Well, I'm happy you invited me. The behavioral program, that's the program I'm running. It's been very successful, as you mentioned. It's driving significant term savings. And the reason behind that is we've looked at our customers in terms of who likely will be conserving energy. And we were very successful in identifying who they are. And in doing so, we were able to also identify or customize not just the messaging, but also the way we communicate that to them. When I say that, we've looked at the paper reports, but we went digital in some of our customers. And digital is a less expensive way of communicating or delivering the message, but also a very effective way because it's something that's quick, fast. You can do it today, and you can be flexible, change direction in terms of messaging based on consumer feedback.
Yeah, and so how would you think that digitization has changed the program and the savings?
And I was mentioning the digital component of the program has significantly made our program more efficient, as you would say, energy efficiency. So it's efficient because we're able to maneuver, change direction as quickly as possible, understand customers further. It's not just a matter of giving information to the customer. It's about also listening and understanding how these customers are receiving those information.
Yeah. And so could you give an example of one of the ways that you've been able to do that?
Digital alerts is, for example. And I'm going to compare a difference in terms of sending a direct mail and a digital alert. A direct mail takes probably 30 to 60 days to prepare, to produce, to develop. You send a communication to someone, they received it in the mail. They read it. Maybe there's a call to action in that report. It takes a while before we can gather data and information in terms of how that particular customer responded to that direct mail. For a digital alert, it's a little different because it's triggered based on behavior. And producing an alert it doesn't take as long as a direct mail. Like today, if I send you an alert, you get your phone, you get an email alert. You'll open it right away. You'll read it. You'll get the information. If there was a call to action in that alert, it's so easy to click on that link. And instantly we'll get that information.
Yeah, you're building a richer portrait of what your customers are doing.
Exactly. It's almost like me talking to you in real time. I'm getting the information. You're getting the information in real time as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So tell me a little bit more about the history of the program before we go into the future of it.
This program had started probably over 9 years ago at SoCalGas. And it was at the start when we installed advanced meters. We installed it around all our service territory, over 6 million. And one of the things that was a direction for us was how do we prove or drive conservation or energy savings? At the time, the goal was a 1% energy savings. So we developed what you call a random control trial. So we randomly selected customers, and they have a peer control group, which is identical to the treatment group who's receiving the communication. That was 9 years ago. We started with only 25,000 customers.
Wow. So it's really grown. And how many customers do you have enrolled today?
Over 2 million.
Wow. That's really exciting.
Yeah, 9 years. And only in the past winter, we were able to drive over 13 million term savings.
That's incredible. And so where do you see the program going now?
Whoa, that's a loaded, big question. Because things are evolving, customers are evolving, everything's changing. When I say that, it's about learning not just from what the customer's saying and how we can, it's also about all the technology that's available. I can't really tell you what's going to happen tomorrow, but I can see the future as being more dynamic, quicker to react. And there's going to be more proactive efforts from our end. Well, right now we have a lot of things happening. There's a lot of research and development. There's a lot of innovative thinking. And Bidgely has been very helpful in this innovative thinking, especially with all these various alerts that we've come up. Now, like in the future, next year, instead of just one type of alert, we have threshold alerts that the customer will be receiving as well. So we'll see, what really happens with that one. If it was just my dream, I want something wherein instantly we can communicate with the customer when at the point of time that they're using appliances or equipment. Maybe there is an opportunity there. I don't know. I just know, like, most of the time, like for you, use your habit, for example. When you're about to use a coffee maker in the morning, what's the first thing that goes in your mind? I need a creamer. You open your refrigerator, right? Maybe one day in the future, we'll be able to communicate with this customer at that point in time when we know that when they need that information, that minute.
Yeah, really being able to be plugged into who they are and what they're thinking in real time.
Exactly. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Also, there are things we still don't know today, and it is an evolution. We have the baby boomers, and now we have the tech savvy folks, and even the way they're using technology is a little different now as well. So we're moving towards that. We're learning. I think I pride myself in terms of listening and learning constantly. I think educating ourselves on how the market is evolving is really important and helpful in how we can proceed and shape the future.
And how do you think that those changes will specifically come to pass with SoCalGas?
SoCalGas is an innovative company, and it is the best of the best. So that I would always say, because it's always constantly looking at things from different perspective, different standpoint, and constantly innovating and finding new things. We have a lot of projects in research and development currently. For example, I'm working on a project called fugitive methane emission, wherein we're identifying emissions and stopping it before it even happens.
What were some of your considerations when you moved from treating high consumption customers to including medium and low consumption customers?
We started with high consumption customers, and we were able to prove that high consumption customers really are going to save. However, that population is not expanding. And the reason behind it is, like, we have X amount of service territory and we have X amount of customers. So the next key thing, the question I ask myself is, how can we expand if we know high consumption is not going to grow? So we started looking at the middle or average consumption. And the thinking behind that, whether it's true today or not, but the thinking behind it, how I started with that idea is, like, if there are average users today, is there an opportunity that one day they will be high consumers of gas? And I think the answer would be yes. So why not target them early? Because they will be high consuming customers later on. And that's what we did. We started targeting the average users with the least expensive type of communication. And we're able to prove that they are saving.
That's really exciting. And can you share some of the key highlights of what you've seen from that segment?
That segment, we send them alerts. And we know that they're satisfied with those alerts because of the likes. They had an opportunity, when they receive the alert, they have an opportunity to like it. So, okay, it's working. Are they changing behavior? We saw that also. The nice thing about this alert is we utilized this disaggregated data, wherein we can serve an information to a particular customer and tell this customer that, this is hypothetical example, you're using X amount, your water heater, for example. So we can give tips about how to save energy with a water heater. So that is very dynamic, and that's constantly changing, and you'll see the behavior changing month over month after a year, you can tell that they significantly made a change in their behavior and they save gas. And that's why earlier I mentioned we save over 13 million therms for 4 months during winter season. That's significant.
Yeah, that's huge. So personalization plays a huge role in what you're doing then.
Yes, it does. The way I look at personalization, or others would call it customization, is you're talking or you're appealing to a certain customer based on how they're reacting or their habit. So you're not everyone, I call this like not everyone are the same.
Yeah.
We are all unique. And the uniqueness is what makes us all special. Because we're special, we have different behavior, we have different habits. So I cannot let's say you like apples, for example. I can't offer you oranges because you like apples. The same thing with personalization in this type of environment. I need to be able to customize my messaging to based on what you need or what you like based on your habits and your behavior.
So you're really doing well with this personalization and this customization for customers. What advice would you give to other utilities who are looking to improve in a similar area?
The most important advice I think I would give is always put the customers in the forefront or in the center of everything you do. Listen and understand. Those, I believe, are really important. And the second thing is innovation. Constantly innovate, constantly ask questions. Constantly, even if when you're successful in whatever you do, like today you're successful, ask always, how else can I make it better? Tomorrow is not, it's a different story. Like I said, customers are evolving and we should be constantly learning from our customers.
To be curious about that future.
Yes. Always. You have to be curious. You have to ask questions. You have to understand. Even when you're successful, that's what I'm saying. Because we cannot be complacent.
Mm-hmm.
We always have to look for new things. And that's why I love this job. It gives me that opportunity to really grow, not just the program itself, but me personally. I've grown so much because it's about learning from everyone.
So thinking about the future and being future ready, where do you think energy efficiency plays a role in the grander goals of decreasing carbon footprint?
The behavioral program have been very, proactive, active with that goal, even from 9 years ago. We started with advanced meter. We went ahead and developed all this various communication in terms of changing customer behavior or how they interact with gas. We've saved a significant amount of therms. That saving has a huge impact in reducing greenhouse gas. Huge. I can't quantify my head right now, but I know it's huge. 13 million is like...
It's a significant number.
Exactly. And that's just 4 months. I don't have the data yet for the end of the year, but I would think it would be more than 13 million.
Yeah.
And that's impacting, the world, our world in general. But also, other than that, we're constantly evolving and looking for various ways how we can educate customers, how we can look at appliances that are inefficient, how we can make it efficient. All these conservation tips, all this messaging we're doing is working towards that goal. Every small thing, every small message that the customers are receiving have an impact. I've always said for every action, there is always an equal and opposite reaction. So the action that we're giving right now is we're feeding information, we're educating, we're doing a bunch of outreach. The reaction to that is the change in behavior, and we see that with the data we're receiving in terms of how much they're saving.
What's next for your team at SoCalGas over the next few years?
It's really hard to predict the future. If I had a crystal ball today, and I can predict it, since I became the Energy Management Supervisor under Customer Programs and Assistance, the future, I see it as a bright future, and there's going to be various different programs wherein it's being probably formulated as we speak. And this is driven by customers' behavior or even their feedback to what we're seeing. And feedback, I say feedback, it's not just the communication when they call it, our call center, it's not just that. It's about their interaction and their behavior. And we can see it in the usage. So based on that information, we're constantly thinking, we're constantly formulating new things. This year, next year, it's huge because we're over 2 million customers. I can only see this program grow. And when I say grow, it will touch on other portions or groups in the company. And that's huge growth. That is what innovation is about. It is not just about one program, it's about the other programs and how we can all come together and really achieve that goal.
Well, Liza, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing these really valuable insights. I appreciate you taking the time to come here, and as always, it was great to talk.
Well, thank you for having me, and it's always an honor to be part of this conference.
Thank you.